welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I have my gorgeous Khala as my model today. Khala, how do you feel being on my YouTube channel? Excited? So everybody know, I guess no one knows, but my family knows. She was one of the first people who actually introduced me how to do proper makeup, because I loved makeup and I had a mustache and I used to wear these red lipsticks, and Khala was this cool Khala who was like, I remember you done my photo shoot and you tied my hair up and you made me wear this, Nano's choker, and you took my picture, and suddenly I was like, okay, makeup can look this like kind of cool, hip kind of makeup. So it's interesting now that I do your makeup, everybody's makeup. So I'm going to do, she's going to wear a sari, of course. I love my Khalas and my mom in these gorgeous saris, and we're going to do like a smoky eye on her skin a certain way. Another thing that I try to show on my YouTube channel is that how do we work with different kind of skins and features, right? So like even for her as well, she has that almost like, I think comes from Nana's like Pathan side, the Durrani Pathan side, the eyes and stuff. And so for you guys to also see slowly how to work with those features, right? So just look up. She also tends to tear up a little bit, which is fine. So also to see how we're going to work around that in a very sensitive manner, because she's got sensitive eyes. So I'm going to start by prepping her skin, and I'm going to take Glow Recipes Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. Khala, close your eyes. So I'm going to drench her face in that. The good thing about the women in my family is that everybody really takes care of their skin in general. So you have great skin canvases to work on. I'm just going to blend that on her face, and this is really nice to just kind of plump up the skin before I start doing makeup. And I'm going to apply some moisturizer as well, and I'm going to take some Glam Glow Water Burst. This is also really nice and hydrating. So while I do her eyes, her skin gets the benefit of all this moisture. Especially remember, in general with skin, the more hydration you have on and the more care you take of your skin being hydrated, the more chances of you having skin with makeup that looks nice and glowy. So I'm really just massaging that into her skin. I think during Corona, everybody's become more skincare oriented. Anyhow, even me at home, I don't think anyone puts on makeup. It's all about just really taking care of the skin. So if you can see already, just by adding that hydration, it makes a huge difference to how the skin is already looking. And she takes care of her skin, so it's already good skin to work with. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer. Now for someone with sensitive eyes, inki aankhein sensitive hain, so I have to be very careful. Generally bhi, especially makeup artists who are watching this, you should be careful about the amount of pressure you apply to the eye. But I'm going to be a little more careful because her eye already is watering a little bit, if you notice, because there are strong lights on her face right now. So I'm just going to go in very softly, and I'm taking Born This Way Almond concealer, and I'm just blending that on her eyelid a little bit. Right? Now on an eye like hers, what I prefer, and I always say this, for each eye you will have certain styles that look nice, etc., whatever. I feel on her eye, a soft smoky or a smoky in general is what really suits her. Open color, right? And look up a little bit, just in the corner I'm going to add. Can you see how gently I'm trying to do that? Because I don't want to irritate her eye. Close again. So if you try to create too much structure on an eye, I try to do a socket eye or something, it will not end up reading perfectly well. So you want to stick to a slightly more smokier eye. Now I'm going to go ahead and take some eyebrow powder. I'm using Corduroy by MAC, and I'm just going to give her eyebrows some definition. We'll come back to this step in the end. As you guys know, in the finishing, I'll come back to it. Just framing the face. So just creating that nice little structure here. Right, now I'm going to go in with my dip down and start creating a darker toner base. Again, very softly, I'm going to take my eye blending brush. Remember, on an eye like this, if I start to whack it with my brush और मैं ज़ोर से ये करना शुरू कर दूँगी, तो before you start makeup will finish. So because I've done her makeup before, I know she has very sensitive eyes. I have to be careful of pressure. So anything I'm going to do very softly. And even then there'll be watering because her eye is sensitive, but it won't be so much that you stop doing makeup. So for sensitive eyes, guys, especially, make sure very soft strokes. So I'm going to build color very softly. I'm using dip down right now. How does it feel, Khala, to get your makeup done?
I was just going to say, am I allowed to speak?
Of course. Of course you're allowed to speak. It's so cute. Everybody comes and sits there being like,
because I had questions, you know, as
Go
a
no,
teacher, I had questions.
Yeah, ask
For
away.
example, the moisturizer that you use on my face, it's not going to make my makeup look oily at all. This is a water-based moisturizer?
It's a water-based moisturizer. So it's Water Burst by Glam Glow.
Okay.
So the base is like a watery. Having said that, what I always say in my videos, this I put to kind of condition your skin before I do makeup.
Yeah, it feels really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice and hydrating, but when I really start doing your makeup, I will wipe it off your T-zone, I'll apply my primer, because you want some makeup to grab onto something. So skincare is great, but you should do that daily to make sure that when you do apply makeup, it looks very flawless. But if you put on too much skincare before makeup, then makeup starts to disintegrate. So you have to be careful of that. It still amazes me that you guys ask me questions about anything, because it just seems like literally a few years back when I used to just stand. I remember my Khala, and she was the cool Khala because she had all these amazing clothes, she had all this time, there were no kids at that time, and I used to go to her house when she would be getting ready, and it was like a long, like not that she did a lot of makeup, but it was a long process. Imagine. It was a whole process, right? So, and then you would do your makeup and you used to have these like NARS. I remember at that time you had like the first person I saw, you had NARS products. And
great products and great clothes. I didn't have children though.
I realized that now after having a daughter. Here I'm just going to keep telling you guys what I'm doing as well. I'm using Kalahari by NARS. It's a duo. And I'm using this kind of almost like dark pinky, like a chai pink on her. So I'm just going to blend that softly again on her.
This just gives a nice finish.
It's nice to like blend the edges, right? Because it's all about once you apply dip down, on top of that to diffuse it, I want to apply a shadow that can diffuse it, because she's going to end up in the end when you see the finished look, she's going to be wearing it says chantilly lace, right?
Pink,
like
yes,
a pink
sari.
So I want to add a little bit of that on the outer edges while keeping the eye still quite dark. Now, as her front corners will tend to water, again, your best friend always will be the bud. So you're just going to take it a little bit. Try to do it yourself. Don't let your client do it.
I was just going to say, should I do it?
So, because you know how much makeup is there, what's getting ruined. So very gently and keep blinking. Yeah. So with an eye like this, if you tell them to stop blinking or you put any kind of stress, it's going to start watering again. So just take off any excess water.
Not with the tissue?
Close. Bud is better because now we have makeup on. So before makeup, tissue is fine. When we have makeup, then it's the good old bud. So just dabbing that. And you can see I'm trying to go very slowly on her eye. Now I'm going to take some of this eyeshadow from the NARS palette here. It's like a shimmery kind of a color, and I'm just going to add it to her brow bone. It's the matte shimmer eyeshadow palette. I do love NARS, and even today the lipstick I'm going to create, because she used to do this really pale pink lipstick, I remember at a certain point, which I loved. So today we're going to go pale pink on the eyes and on the lips and dark on the eyes.
I've always found that a pale pink lipstick is difficult to maintain.
Really?
And that the best ones for me have always been lipsticks which have a lot of moisturizer in them.
Yeah.
And therefore you have to keep reapplying.
Yeah, I'm like someone who does her face once and then my makeup just stays. Also because I'm very careful.
Yeah.
So it's also about how you eat, how you drink something, you know.
I talk a lot.
Cute. So I'm going to take the MAC 234 now, dip it into this black color in the same palette. It's like a metallic black. It's not a matte black. And I'm going to start creating smoke around her. root of her lash. So if you have a sensitive eye person, someone who you can't rub so much black track on, etc., gel eyeliner, you have to really work into the eye, right? Too much. So then I try to avoid the gel eyeliner and I go for eyeshadows that have slip in it. So ये matte नहीं है, इसमें थोड़ी सी slip है. So just by applying little bit, can you see how dark it's already become? It's become quite dark on her eye. Again, making sure the strokes are soft. So if you notice, it's already building that base on her eye. Softly open again. So the trick with anyone with sensitive eyes is patience. So if you run through it and the person gets nervous as well, then you have a mess. Because once water starts, it's very, you know, the eyelash glue comes off, certain areas will stop letting you actually have makeup remain on it. So open. I'm gonna avoid liquid eyeliner. You'll also notice anyone who has sensitive eyes will react to liquid eyeliner.
I use liquid.
You use liquid? You prefer liquid?
A lot of the time, because sometimes I find with these I tend to create a smudgy look, and then on top of it I put
you put liner, yeah, as a finishing. Got it.
This gives me a guideline, and then at the end I just finish up with liquid.
Okay, because a lot of times when I'm doing sensitive eyes with liquid lagate hi, they start watering up. So
but I just make sure I never go right in front.
In the corner, yeah, that's the trick.
So that
right?
This black track does for me.
So I'm going to take some black track and just now at the root of a lash, and this is my 10S brush by Inglot. Just going to create some darkness very softly.
Yeah, I tend to use these the black track as my guideline for where my liner is going to go, and it also allows me to, in a way, smudge the eyeliner.
Yeah, because you don't want to have very stark eyeliner, right? Because then you can actually see any place where you want to, any flaw, etc. You don't want to enhance it by having a very stark liner. You want to just blend that out. So just taking it out a little bit. I want to raise her eye a little bit. So even when I put her lash from the corners, I'm just making it, extending it to the corners there, right? And I'm going to now take a wet bud and give myself a bit of a guideline. So I'm just going to clean the outer corner here to see when I'm going to raise her eye. So wet buds are great to just create structure as well. So I know that I'm going to raise, if you see already, if you look straight, I'm going to make her eye kind of come up here. So I've cleaned up on the sides here to see that I'm going to raise her eye. If you try to kind of go with just her own eye and try to just make the corners here, then her eye will look droopy. So we want to raise and lift.
It's also good advice for anyone over 40.
Yeah, yeah. And as we age, it becomes more important to keep lifting stuff. Contours need a little bit of help, right? Even though you all look great, don't really need much help there, but even then. So I'm going to go back with my chai pink color now, the Kalahari, and blend this in the outer corner here. Just blending.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Natasha, because I mean, as a younger person, you handle your eyeliner and your shadow differently.
Very differently, of course.
And as you get older, you have to learn how to handle your skin and your eyes.
And if with every age, right, what I find is you adapt to what's happening on the face, even I think your ideology, your personality, right? How do you want to present yourself? So it's about that and kind of making it work. So I feel like it's a process. So the other thing that also ends up happening as we age is that we have more obviously wrinkling happening on the eye. That's another reason why you don't want to go, कोई भी structure अगर आप socket बनाएंगे, अगर आप सिर्फ line एक लगा देंगे, फिर वो enhance हो जाता है. With the smokiness on the eye as you get older, is that stuff hides, and then you have the good stuff that ends up being highlighted. So now I'm taking this brush, it's an angled eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to start creating darkness in her corner here a little bit. तो मैं जो ends of the eyes है उस पे थोड़ा सा ये blend करूँगी. So just with that I'm blending it, and if you notice I'm trying to now create heaviness on the outer corner to raise it, pull it up. So I'm just taking my bourgeois liner now, like as she said, and generally सबसे ज़्यादा sensitive eyes में tear duct होता है. So we're not going to go towards there. I'm going to keep it to 3/4 of the eye. Open Khala, look down. So I'm going to apply her eyeliner. Don't let them keep their eye open for too long because that can also sometimes create. Close eye again. So I'm just keeping it dark. So I'm going to first see the weight of the lash on her eye. So this is a longer kind of a lash. I'm going to kind of put it on the half portion of her eye. I don't want it to be so long on her because anything, again, ये lash के corner भी अगर hit करेगा front पे तो पानी आना शुरू हो जाएगा. We have to be super careful because once tears start, then they don't stop. And जो जितना makeup है, Khala is a makeup artist herself as well. And we've done makeup together, and you remember what a nuisance it was once people would start watering. You'd be like, oh my god, it was the longest makeup.
One bride took me 3.5 hours.
Yeah, because then you have to make sure
stop watering.
So it's the most painful thing when your client starts to have watery eyes. Open Khala. I'm just measuring, look down again. I still may cut it a little bit. So making sure that almost 3/4 पे मैं lash लगाऊंगी, मैं full आँख पे lash नहीं लगाऊंगी. So I'm going to take the black glue. That makes life easy because it also covers, I mean, you don't see any white glue drying. It's all just black already. So I haven't done makeup. This is the first video today I'm shooting. The videos I'm shooting today, I'm doing with these long nails. So the only thing that I've had difficulty with is actually the lash placing. Down. So I'm just attaching it also at an angle, look up, so that it pulls again the eye higher. If you notice, her entire eye I'm trying to give the illusion of going up. So again, her eye is stable right now. I don't see any like extra watering which can potentially happen. Again, with sensitive eyes, can you see, again I'm doing it really slowly. You want to make sure you're not going to upset something, right? I'm going to go with this brown, look up, 3/4 under here. Right, and I'm going to, with the same brush, take some black now, and this particular area I'm going to add some black in because we didn't go near this area because it can potentially start watering. So now just doing the inner corner very gently with the same dark shadow. Right, now I'm going to go back in with the liner where we've applied the lash, and just in the inner corner, just very quickly and lightly. So I always tell everybody, once lashes are on, try to blink and all, but keep the eye open. The more you press, sometimes that also displaces lashes. So I'm just blending more of that color on her outer corner here. So I'm going to let the eye settle a bit, and I'm going to apply a hydrating primer, e.l.f. hydrating primer here. Because again, as we get older, moisture tends to get away from the skin, so you need to hydrate it more so you don't get a cakey feel, but a hydrated kind of feel. Open and look up, Khala. Also with sensitive skin, people remember that the tears can also come from here. So if you really start to rub the under eye too much as well, even if you have in the top, you can actually have people tearing up. You were saying something.
See, when you're talking about older skin getting dry and needing hydration, I in fact hardly use foundation now. I use mostly moisturizer, and I just add the foundation to that, if anything.
Yeah, and I think that looks best on you because actually you want to go with lesser product, not more product, right? I'm going to take the Bourjois Air Matte, and I'm taking this in 02 Vanilla. So I'm going to take some in vanilla, and I'm going to mix it with Bobbi Brown in Cool Ivory. I'm going to add some of that, and then I'm going to apply some of my Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow.
That I love.
It adds a nice shine, huh? So I'm going to start from chest and neck because her sari blouse is going to be bigger. Just one button because she's going to change after I do her makeup. So I'm just going to apply that and start working it into her skin. Making sure we're getting neck and chest. and then really working it into the skin. So what I like about this kind of a brush, this is by Makeup Atelier again, it's like a face blending brush. You want to go circular, kind of have the skin absorb it as opposed to sitting on top of the skin. We don't want that to happen. So just going to just turn this side, Khala. So I'm just going near her eye a little bit with this as well. We're going to put concealer next, but right now I'm just going near all areas. Just giving her her first kind of open and look up. And no closing and squeezing the eye up. That also makes the eye sensitive. So just soft blinks. So now I'm mixing some Tarte Shape Tape in deep and in light medium. And I'm going to go right under her eye. So Khala, just look up. So just covered her under eye softly. So just covering her under eye, and I'm going to take the deep Tarte Shape Tape and start structuring her face a little bit. Very soft contouring, nothing harsh. I want this look to look very fresh and pretty. So I'm just painting on that contour here. Softly on her nose as well. Again, I don't like very harsh contours. As we get older, even that starts to read like it's too much makeup. I feel it should be soft. So under her jaw also here. So I'm going to go in now back in with my eyebrow color and make her eyebrow slightly darker, because now we have darker eyes. I can see how slightly darker, thicker I want to make them. So I want to accentuate that eye. Now I'm going to draw in her lip. I'm using Spice.
Remember the first time you were doing my lipstick?
What did I do? You kept doing
because I'm not used to getting my makeup done.
She kept making this face, Khala, and I was like, Khala, what are you doing with your lip?
It's like automatically wanted to assist the other person. I kept
moving your lip like.
And you said, "Oh my God, you're one of those people."
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God, stop contorting your lip." And Khala was like, "No, but I'm trying to like kind of." It is like I realized that in the head of the person who's doing it, they're trying to help. So I'm just taking a little bit of the translucent, Laura Mercier translucent, just dabbing it very lightly under her eye here, just to set the concealer. As you can tell, I haven't put too much product, and that's the trick. As you get older, lesser product will read way better and make the person look more youthful. Okay, so I'm going to take some Spice Lip Pencil now. I'm just going to shade her lip. So I've lined her lip with the Spice Lip Pencil, and now I'm applying my pink plaid lipstick, which is a pinky color.
I don't know how. I started doing it again.
Don't do that, please.
This?
So, no, Khala would start to pout her lip almost while I was doing it.
Because I pout when I'm applying my lipstick. But
so for anyone applying lipstick, no, bilkul, just that's it. Don't move from there. So for anyone applying lipstick, you actually just want a stable lip. If you start moving the lip for someone who's applying it, if you're doing it yourself, I get it. You're trying to do what you do generally when you apply your lipstick. So on top of that, I'm going to mix some Saint Germain. It's another color by MAC only. It's like a really... Huh?
Say this again. I'm going to Saint Germain.
I'll sound.
Okay, so Saint Germain.
Germain, okay. So I'm using, look up, lipstick called Saint Germain. Yeah, that's the way. Look down.
Yeah.
Look down. So Khala speaks French, hence Khala's correcting my pronunciation. So I'm just going to now blend that color on her lip. नहीं, normal रखना, stretch again. Like you're smiling, like normal smiling. नहीं इस तरह smiling, बस soft smile, just soft. So I'm blending that color on her lip, and now we're gonna make her wear her blouse before we do the finishing of this look. So now, as you can see, we put her into nano sari actually she's wearing, and she's wearing her jewelry, stunning, one of my favorite sets. And we're gonna apply now some deep throat blush just at the apple of her cheek. I want this look to be nice and rosy and flushed. So I'm applying some of that on her cheek, and then I'm gonna blend it out with some Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl. Just applying that right on top. And then smile, Khala. I'm just gonna buff it with my beauty blender. And then I'm gonna apply some of Huda's Angelic Lip Gloss. It's one of my favorite colors, right on top of this lipstick. Just smile normally. So just gonna add that to her lip. And just in the corners now here, I'm gonna go back in with this color and just darken the edges a little bit. So as you guys can see, I've done this gorgeous kind of uplifted smoky eye on her to lift that eye, lift her contours. I've done very soft kind of lip, like a lip that matches that gorgeous sari. It's my nano sari, her mother's sari, and the jewelry is also my nano's. So it's just always very lovely to see my Khala'S and her mom. I feel they all look like her when they dress up in their saris. So gorgeous soft look, as I mentioned in the video as well. This is great for anyone who is doing makeup on sensitive eyes. If you're working with any kind of a sensitive eye, I've given you tips and tricks there. Like I said, keep the skin kind of soft when you're doing a heavier look, because that is what makes the skin look youthful and overall gives a glamorous and youthful look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love doing this with my Khala. I always have the most fun when I'm dressing up the ladies of my family. Please,
I love the makeup.
I'm so glad you look stunning. Please keep liking, sharing and subscribing. Keep giving us your suggestions. End January is when I really started posting videos. Can't believe we're up to 72,000 already. Looking forward to bringing you a lot more content. See you very soon.